understand, okay? They didn't do anything wrong.
Ma'am, they used automatic rifles to shoot someone in the face.
Yeah, but he's not dead, okay? He never dies. I don't understand why you're not getting that.
Ma'am, I can assure you, that man is tied up on the sidewalk right over there. Is dead.
But you don't understand. It's Michael Myers.
Very nice. Well, oh shit. That's all some dope stuff. I love it. So yeah, Chuck, what's this about?
Well, I just thought we'd have a little creepy time with Chuck and sit down with the writer and directors of the 3 chapters of The Shape, which has now been turned into a full-length feature film, which is doing rather well on YouTube. So I thought we'd all sit down and talk to each other and interview one another about what we did, how we did it, and why, and surprisingly, how well it's doing.
Yeah.
Why are you surprised?
Yeah, Chuck, why are you surprised?
It's the highest viewed thing we've ever created, and we've done a few feature films. And so yeah, this is actually, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Oh, that's good. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so I'm pleasantly surprised, but at the same time, it's like, wow, this is, I mean, it could be because it's Halloween season. It could be because Halloween Ends just came out. People are just like, click, 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 click. But either way.
Or was it great planning?
I think it was good planning and good execution and a lot of talent.
I agree.
That's true. There's a lot of talent.
A ton of it. Okay. All right. So
in front of and behind the camera.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Okay. So I guess then we'll just kind of interview each other. So how do you want to start it? Because I don't want to bore people. We should just get to it.
We're not boring anybody.
Okay, I'm just making. Well, not now because we've got fucking Nito Mosquito in here.
We are 2 of the most interesting people on this little interview here.
Did you say 2 or 3?
I said 2 of the most interesting people. I mean, who else shows up for an interview with Freddy Krueger? I mean, come on. I mean, you don't get much better than Mr. Ryan Smith. So, Aaron, let's jump into it. Aaron, why did you create the story? Why did you start doing a fan film? What got you inspired to chase it?
Okay. Most of my time as a writer, I normally pull from my life some way or somehow. Something, right? So there was a few people I knew that were going through some family issue, a debacle. And a debacle, yeah. And I felt like that there's a story there. And we had just started talking about kind of making something of a fan film sort, I think, back in the day. Yep. And I was like, wow, okay, so what if we focus, because I'm more of a writer that wants to base something in reality and then build the fiction off of it. You know, I do that a lot. Anyway, so this little family dilemma made me go, oh shit, okay, this would be a great story about a family going through some shit. And then I realized, well, what if we threw in like Michael in there? How would that work? And I kept thinking about it. And then I'm like, wait a minute, Michael always went home. In the original 78 classic with Carpenter, he always wanted to go home, and I never knew why. Like, why did he always go home? Like, everybody knew, you know where he's going. You know, Donald Pleasance knew Michael was going back to Haddonfield to find his sister, yes, but he always went back to that house. And I related home with family. And that's how I gelled the two together. And I figured, hey, if we're going to take Michael in a different direction, that'd be kind of cool because, you know, you've got Leatherface family, you've got Jason, he's got his mom thing. We know Michael goes after his sister in the originals. And I was like, well, what if somebody actually hung out with Michael and it was okay? And that's how I wrote that story. And that's it, pretty much it. And I wanted to see where you guys would take it after that.
Well, that wasn't the original idea. The original idea was just to do the one-off fan film really quick, just a quick short, just to throw something out there. And then after we started production,
yes,
it was like, Hey,
Ideas started forming, right? Yeah.
what if we decided to turn this into an episodic thing and somebody writes chapter 2?
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Ryan Smith, you being the huge Halloween Michael Myers fan that you are, as you can see by your wardrobe today, please explain how you came up with the storyline to create chapter 2.
I want to just really quick interrupt. Over your shoulder, is that a Jason mask?
Over my shoulder here,
Yeah.
one Michael Myers. I have the burned Michael Myers, our original IP, the Phantom Killer mask, and then I have a prop from my chapter 3, and then I have a prop from the toy boat from It.
Ah.
Nice.
And then I also have the giant Pacific Octopus poster, the Say Goodbye poster,
You're gonna plug everything right now?
and a closet that's open.
Could do a fan film set in its storybook world.
That would be a hard, yeah, but that
It'd be hard.
Pennywise is going to be a hard.
It'd be tough.
Yeah, you'd have to really plan that one. But that would be fucking cool.
It would be cool.
Okay, but now that we're done talking about my room and some other ideas, why did you jump on board to write chapter 2?
Because I want to fuck Michael up.
So yeah, that's a good way to start.
I was reading the comments on the feature, and somebody was like, yeah, but then like, I can't remember the exact comment, but somebody was like, yeah, but then they start like taking Michael to town and they shoot him with all this stuff and he like doesn't die. And I was like, that's the fucking point. He never dies. Like, you could put him in a wood chipper and he dies. I'm surprised he died at Halloween Ends. They're going to resurrect him as a zombie. He'll come back in like a geriatric ward or something like that. Be like, I'm still fucking coming in a wheelchair. But I was like, yeah, that's exactly the point. He never dies. Not a big Michael Myers fan, but I did want to beat him up a little bit. So that's why I wrote the parts.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
I don't know if you can tell that I'm a big Mike Myers fan, but but yeah, no, and it was fun to kind of flex into some of the horror with a little taste of action. And I know that like those two sometimes do marry together pretty well, and so I've never really done a lot of action in my films. So this one has more action than I think I've done in anything.
And you topped it off by going ahead and let's do a giant green screen shoot of the whole truck ride.
Yeah. That actually turned out pretty good. I thought it looks pretty good.
It's not too bad. A lot of people are very impressed with it, and I'm not as good at green screen work as I wish I was. And there's some matching issues that I wish I would have fixed, but at the same time, I was okay with it. It kind of gave it a weird kind of feel, like this other world kind of a look, and the coloring isn't really matched, but at the same time, I was like, well, if anybody watches the Shape movie, they're going to realize it's a low budget film.
Yeah.
So, but how well can we do in a low budget film with a good story, with decent acting, and the action that they're seeing, and still stay true to this universe that John Carpenter kind of created back in the day. And I think Ryan's hits, because your film reminds me of a lot of Carpenter movies, because he puts a lot of action in his movies, from Escape from New York, Big Trouble in China, Ghost from Mars, even though it's a shitty movie, he still had it.
See, I always enjoyed that movie.
See, and I need to watch it again because I don't remember it. And I thought of it the other day. I'm like, fuck, They Live is like my movie, right? I love that fucking movie. But that's what I like about your Ryan. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you wrote it and I read it, I'm like, oh, it's badass. And then I read it again, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's the story?
There's no story.
There isn't. But you know what? You know what's cool about it? By the time I got done helping you finish that film, I realized that there is a point to it. And you nail it at the end when they ask the question, how is that possible? And he says, I don't know.
Yeah. He's just like
fucking great.
He just keeps doing his thing. Like, there's no rhyme or reason. Like, I mean, how many times has Michael been shot? And if you're going to really nitpick it, like, he should have been done at the end of like the very first movie, like.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, it was a little slapsticky at times. I feel like when they empty the whole AK and then they blow out his knees with a shotgun, and then he pops back into the truck and they throw him off, and you know, I did think about having him run over by a steamroller.
Steamroller.
But that leads to our next point, the fact that I had to create chapter 3, and if you ran him over with a steamroller or blew his head off, my story would be very short.
No, well, the steamroller, it just becomes creative. And how do you get him back? You just get like, you know, like an air inflator and just like.
What is this? Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Or yeah, it's like Flat Stanley. You know,
Exactly.
You just got to put some air into him.
Have his eyeballs start flying out of his head when he's fucking pissed off. No, Ryan, it was fun playing in that movie too with you. I love the character that you wrote. I knew exactly the dude. I remember when I read it, I'm like, dude, you gotta let me play that part.
Well, kind of coming back to your green screen, like I can think of, you know, I bet outside of, I don't know, maybe us, I don't know, but I can think of several people who trying that and going through the challenge would say, you know what, I never want to do it again. But to the flip side of that, now we've kind of cut our teeth on it. We know what works, what doesn't work. So I'm not afraid to try green screen again, you know, with the expectations and what we've learned from it now. And I think we can just make it better. And, you know, it's all a building process. So we've got the foundation laid. Now we just keep building off of it to make it look better in the future.
I think if we go with a bald actress, it would be perfect.
We need more leaf blowers.
No, it's exciting, and it's a fun transition from I'm going to call them chapters. Chapter 1, Chapter 2 with Ryan, Chapter 3 with you. It's all in one film, but it's interesting to see that people watch the entire film, all the chapters together. Yeah. And now, you know, and not see major deviance. You know, it doesn't really change enough for people to go, what is this? I mean, for the most part, most of the people are saying, hey, this is a great movie. Well, it's actually three.
Yeah.
You know, with 3 different writers, 3 different directors, and it's fucking cool to see. And I'm digging this a lot.
It is cool in like the big picture to see how seamlessly it all kind of runs together.
Right. And it did. And that's that link. I mean, our communication and piggybacking off of one another really seem to work. And I think that's unique, because I think a lot of other people out there would have a hard time collaborating with other filmmakers to make something like we did, to gel it all together, you know. And you should be proud of that, guys. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's like a springboard of something else I wanted to try and do, as far as creating some type of tale type story again. Yeah. Not exactly that's going to be blended together, but with other filmmakers across the U.S. You know, whether we go somebody in the Midwest, somebody on the East Coast, something like that, to bring us all together and do the same thing.
Yeah. All right. We're going to come back to all the movies here in a second, but Chuck, why did you and how did you come up with Chapter 3?
And what's up with the ending?
Yeah, and what's up with that ending, bro? We'll get to it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah. So for Chapter 3, I mean, it was just fun as shit to write. I mean, it took me a minute to figure out what I wanted to do after reading Ryan's and trying to figure out how to get Michael to stand back up after he threw him out of a truck and shot him with an AK and blew out both of his knees. And
got bad knees.
By the way, little Johnny, our stunt dummy, broken.
Oh, that's broken.
He's gonna be wearing a mask forever to be able to hide that, because we threw him out of the truck so many times. There's not much of a look. Oh, and then Matthew, our wonderful Michael from Chapter 1, kept stabbing him over and over again. I'm like, dude, he's just a dummy.
Oh yeah, he did.
He just wouldn't stop stabbing him in the chest.
He was in care.
Our poor Michael dummy. But Chapter 3 was fun to write. Be able to bring both of your guys' ideas from your storylines together and bring them in and complete the film and to finish off the story, kind of. But yeah, I know I pissed off Aaron.
Yeah, you did.
I wanted to start the movie, and I remember. Here's the funny part, everybody. Here's an inside scoop. I was sitting at Aaron's house. I was sitting in his dinette. He was in the kitchen doing stuff, and I'm like starting to write the beginning of the story, the intro, and he's throwing me ideas. Well, how about if Dean did this, and how about if so and so, and how about if Dean and Gail do this, or what we could do is do your thing, and then they come back in later.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. For those of you who haven't seen the film yet, I'm sorry, but yeah. So in the part where I start my chapter, spoiler alert, The ambulance containing Dean, Gale, Medic, Moore, and Officer Black flips it right down the road and blows it up. So they're done. Now, the point for me doing that was so that I could get Aaron with me making the movie. I needed him to be a cinematographer. I needed his eye. I needed his presence behind the camera. Because when he's in front of the camera, he's lazy. He doesn't do shit until they say action. But seriously though, the challenge of bringing both their guys' stories together and finishing it off was fun and hard. And for me, this was my directorial debut, so I had all the things going through my brain. I was like, is this good enough? Is this going to be not right? Am I well enough prepared?
Yeah.
Which I think we pulled it off, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, I think you ended it well. I think you tied both the films together and you wrapped up every character perfectly. I think, personally, I couldn't have been happier with it. I thought it was
and the fans seem to think so also.
Yes.
I actually didn't know that was your directorial debut, because I know you had another project that you were currently working on. It just didn't click that was it. Actually, you composed yourself very well on set, so I just kind of thought that you have several under you already. I didn't realize that.
He's just been watching somebody really good for him.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys both for joining me tonight on.
Yeah, that was it.
No,
dude. It's getting smelly in here. Either Rion farted or Aaron's shoveling the bullshit.
They both stink.
You know, I claim it.
No, it's been crazy. I know the tone I wanted originally, because I wanted the fans, since you're talking about the fans, I wanted them to have the Michael moments that I remember. You know what I mean? Like all the stalking shots, him in the background a lot. Some of those moments where you saw Michael make his kill, and that's what I like about Michael. He makes these kills, but it's not all bloody, it's not all gory, so it's easier for an indie filmmaker to pull something like that off if they don't have budget money and stuff. Because no one's expecting Michael, until Halloween Kills came out, for him to smash somebody's skull in and the brains go flying everywhere. Michael could choke you, stick a needle in your head, stab you with a knife, slice your throat. Easy shit that he used to do. And I was always about, okay, this movie isn't about the kills necessarily. It's about posing Michael in those moments that I know everybody loved. Or at least I did. And I'm like, that was Michael to me. So I wanted to make sure to capture those and pay tribute to some of those moments in those original films. It was fun to set certain moments, and throw in a little Rob Zombie in there. There was that one scene where one of the characters gets killed. It was important to me to get it in there because I loved what Rob Zombie did, and I do not understand why people don't like his remake, the original remake, number one.
Right.
I think it was 2007. Awesome. I absolutely fucking loved it, and I think that he added an element to Michael that a lot of the fans didn't like, and I get that because the unknown part of Michael was kind of cool to everybody. But you listen to Rob Zombie in his documentary, he talked about no one's always all bad. There's something good in everybody, and he tried to show that Michael was a product of society. Like his family was fucked, he got fucked up, and he went black, and he turned into this fucking monster. And I thought it was a cool little deviant, but he still paid a lot of tribute to Carpenter. He really did. Yeah, he really fucking did. And there's some moments in there I wanted to add in just for fans, and it was really cool to see some people pick it up, or at least one person picked it up for the Rob Zombie. But that was an
11-year-old.
An 11-year-old boy picked it up, and I'm like, you know what? You were the first person, my man, to see that reference, and good for you. Good job.
Now I wonder if he also sat down and watched the 4-hour and 20-minute documentary of the making of Rob Zombie's Halloween, like we did.
Yeah, if he is, he's a fucking badass, and I love the kid. So good for him. But anyway, but it was cool to see where you guys were taking it. When Rion came in there with the action elements, I thought that was fantastic. I thought it was great, man. It made it more alive. And in fact, I think your episode that you made works better in the main film.
Yeah. As a standalone, it's just a little action piece.
Yeah, because people are like, okay, if they're following the story closely, it works. But if someone just pops into YouTube and watches chapter 2, they'd probably be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, I don't understand.
Yeah,
I hates Michael Myers.
Yeah. in the sequence of the film, it gives everybody this action element, these other two characters that are going out and hunting it down, it makes more sense, you know. And then you're like, oh shit. And then when you combine it with chapter 3, like we did with Chuck's little insert, what he did with Coach Rick, it works. It fucking works perfectly. And I don't know, I'm talking too much, but it's fucking cool, you guys.
Well, that's one of the things I liked about the switching everything over from going from our chapter version to the feature film, because we were able to take the flashback scene that I put in chapter 3 for Coach Rick and put it actually where it would fit into the timeline right when Fancy is running away from the house. Which just kind of made it all flow better, because I had a few people who watched chapter 3 and they're like, so the Coach Rick thing was what?
Man,
just
what time?
Yeah, because in chapter 3 it's broken up. You know, it's something to go back to while we're traveling with Michael and doing everything else with, you know. So, but in the actual, when we did it for the feature, we were able just to put it right in the spot where it goes, and it just helped the feature just flow nice and smoothly and give nice transitions from opening story to Ryan. Ryan loves a good oneer.
Yes, he does.
So Ryan came to us with a 12-page script, and the idea was to shoot at least an entire page in a oneer every time we shot.
Yeah, but so Ryan, was that kind of an experiment for you? Is that how you normally film your other films?
With oneers?
Yeah.
Oh, I love oneers. Like if I could do a whole movie as a oneer, I probably would give it a shot, or at least a scene as a oneer.
You can.
Yeah. Well, I like the concept of it because to build a oneer, like a good oneer, you have to be so cognizant of like the camera moves, the props, the background. And I think that, and this is not poo-pooing on anybody's style at all, but you watch a lot of like indie films and they just do like close-ups because they don't have the production value for the background. And I think a oneer, you are forced to increase your production value because you're showing everything. Right. And so in order to do that, you know, you have to put more work into it. And I think when you pull it off, people are like, wow, that looks fucking great. Like, how did you do this and all of that stuff? And so it helps, I think, not only build the story, but also just like technically and like you challenge yourself to do it and execute it as well. And so I don't know, I really like oneers for that reason.
They are challenging, but they do shorten your storyline.
Yeah, and if you pull it off, suddenly you don't have to do like 12 shots. You have one and you've accomplished everything you've needed to do with 12. And so yeah.
So Ryan, what is your favorite oneer? Since there's been quite a few movies that have pulled off some pretty good oneers. What's your favorite?
I have
probably Children of Men.
That's a great ending. Yes.
I think that my favorite part is like when he's approaching. It's in the beginning. It's in the end. He's like approaching the building to get the baby. And so there's like a battle, like a street battle, and a tank like blows out the front of this building, and then he like goes in under the dust and up the staircase and all that. I think that oneer is probably my favorite because it's just like so much is going on. And to like the previous point, you can't cheat any of that. Like you have like, I mean, sure you can with Hollywood.
You can't fix it in post.
Yeah, or you're gonna have some really pissed off people at the process of it. But just like, it feels just so much more organic, I think, if you have a good oneer and you're like, boom, that is the story. This is the world that it lives in. So I think that's probably mine.
That was one of mine until I think, did that come out before or after War of the Worlds? I think it came out. I think that came out.
I thought that was after.
I can't remember for sure. Well, I loved War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise with the three-way scene when he's leaving in the car. Yeah. That oneer to me is ridiculous. Like,
that was
fucking knocked it out of the park. I still watch. I watched it, I don't know, a couple months ago, and I'm like, how the fuck did they do that? It's ridiculously cool.
That one was so cool.
It's cool, but then Extraction came out on Netflix with Chris Hemsworth, and that action oneer that he pulls off, I swear to God, it's at least 10 to 12 minutes long. It's fucking ridiculous.
Is that the cameraman on the car?
Yes. That's where the director was filming on top of the hood of the car, and he would jump off the hood, get into the next vehicle, and it would keep going, and he was just on it. I'm like, and he was filming it. I'm like, what the fuck? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous how good it is. So I got much respect for you even attempting it, Ryan. I think it's fucking cool. But I got a question for you, Ryan Smith.
Mm-hmm.
How did you become such a good cinematographer? Like to me, it takes a lot. I don't, when I like to film shit, I've learned all by myself what I gotta shoot. I have my own style, right? You know, I can go handheld or I can go gimbal style, smooth cam, whatever, but you have a very unique style. And when I have you helping us with our projects, or when you're filming your own and I'm in it, I got no worries about how the shots are gonna look, because you have an eye for it, bro. You really do. And how did you get that? Do you know? Did you work on it, or is it natural?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you. I just like when I don't have a good answer for you. Like I will storyboard some stuff, or I will take like action figures and like take pictures of them in place of storyboarding. But like, you know, sometimes those don't make it to the final product. And you know, when you're on set, like in my head I can just see it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is how it has to be, and I need the lights here, and so on and so forth. So I don't have a good answer. You just know some shots just feel right, and you're like, yes, that is what I need, and I don't want anything else. Or
yeah,
I don't know.
So one of the most interesting, no film school, no nothing, just you and your brain.
Yeah, just make it up on the spot.
Did you used to do photography?
No, no,
Okay.
not really. So like I did videos, or I made films, you know, like growing up, but it was all just like, I don't know, just with a camcorder recording shit at home.
Yeah.
And then photography, so yes, I do photography, but photography came as a product of shooting film. So I was like, oh cool, I can compose shots a lot easier, and I don't have to like worry about, you know, whatever. I can just take this camera, go out and shoot, and then, you know, practice like my depth of field or whatever like that, and I don't have to worry about getting a group of people together. So that gave me a little bit more flexibility, and I think that as those playing around in those two fields, I don't know, gave me my cinematography that I have now.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Well, it's interesting too, because the reason we're talking about this too is because if you see guys out there, you know, you've got the guy with the camera, he's sitting like this, and he's got his adjuster, you know, he's sitting there adjusting his lens, and he's looking at the monitor, and he's figuring everything out. Looks like that.
Right next to him, yeah.
Here's Ryan. Ryan's right here with the camera on his eye.
Yes.
He's all up in everybody's business. He's just sitting like this. Like, okay, now go ahead. Okay, let's get the shot. Go, action.
Yeah. Nobody films with an eyepiece anymore. No one shoots with the eyepiece, dude, and you do, and it's fucking cool as fuck. It's great.
It's like, I don't know, because like because I know what you're talking about. You'll have people in like, what do they call it, like video village or whatever, where they sit and they look at the monitors and they twist and stuff.
Yeah.
When you put it, when you put it in your eye, there is nobody out there. There is just the screen, and it is right there in front of you, and you can't get distracted by people to the left or right or whatever. And so it kind of removes all of those distractions, and like, I don't know, you feel the shot, and maybe that's kind of silly to say, but and this is maybe a really shitty analogy, but like when you drive stick, you feel the car. Yeah. You know, I feel the same way with the camera when it's like right there on my eye, like boom, this is the shot. I see how it's happening. I'm there with it, and there's no distractions. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite shots from chapter 1, and it's not because I'm in it, it's because Ryan just jumps into the back of the seat of a car while we're filming the scene, and he gets this shot of Michael through a steamy glass of the back window. And it's one of my favorite shots of chapter 1. And yes, I happen to be playing Michael during that one scene. However, it's Ryan that made it my favorite, not me.
Right. No, it's great, and that's that gritty look that even resembles Rob Zombie's film for a minute. So that was a tribute shot.
And that was one where I was like, yes, this is, because I love Rob Zombie's Halloween, because I was like, fuck yes, this is gritty as fuck. And when I hopped in the back of the car and I looked out, I was like, the steam was on the windows. I was like, this is in that vein. I was like, this is the shot that will be a shout out kind of to the Rob Zombie one. And so I just knew it as soon as I saw it. I was like, that's it.
Happy accident. But however, because I'm such a great director, guys, I gave Ryan free will. I didn't tell him to go stand over there. I'm like, Ryan, do your thing.
Right.
But that's because I trust Ryan Smith's eye.
The tricky part about saying,
Love
Ryan, go do your thing, is you have to eventually turn around in 5 or 10 minutes and be like, Ryan, where the fuck are you?
That's true.
Because Ryan's off in the bushes,
He gone. Yep.
shots, getting all these different angles and missing out on opportunities to be with the crew and cast.
Yep. And
That's one of my favorite things. I missed the crew shot.
You missed the
We had the big picture at the end, and he's over there videoing it. Like,
I was tucked away in that bush when the ambulance was getting ready to roll away, and had Tyler holding the sticks in front of the lens.
So good. So, okay. So before we make this too long, guys, what were some of your favorite moments making your film?
Who, me?
Any of it? Well, either one of you answer. Go.
I just liked. The collaboration of it, you know, like we knew we were making fan films. It's like three friends making a movie. Nobody's like taking it super seriously, and like, I mean, I don't know why I'm looking around like there's somebody listening over my shoulder, but you know, like when people when you show up on some people's sets, like, and I've been on these sets, you know, when somebody's like, my movie is like the shit, and we're gonna fill out like NDAs, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. I'm like, bro, you're not making Schindler's List, you're making a fucking high school movie. Like take that seriousness and like check out, you know what I mean? And like the fact that we didn't, and we had fun, and we made an awesome like 3-part like feature, I think is a testament to why the process was so fun. I think if somebody was throwing around like the NDAs and being like, oh no BTS photos unless we approve and blah 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 blah, I'd have been like, what the fuck, man? It's like really? So and it's those kind of productions that I'm just like, yeah, I don't really want to be part of it. I'd rather just go have fun where I can eat pizza and just kind of gab on set, you know. And I think that the movies that you are a part of that are in that vein are the most rewarding to make, not because of the end product, but because of the people that you're working with. So.
You couldn't have said it any better, buddy. Yeah, I completely agree 100%. That's one of the things that I think a lot of people end up missing, is the aspect that got us into it in the first place, and it's the fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's just a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a story. Just have some fun with it. That's it.
Yeah, and if you want to throw somebody out of the back of a truck and shoot Mike Myers like 32 times, fucking do it.
Yeah. You're I mean, why not? Right? It still works. It works in the concept of what we were doing. It still works.
Yeah.
What about you, Chuck?
My favorite thing is not what we're doing right now, but the three of us were on set for everybody's movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was behind the scenes, behind the camera for Ryan and Aaron's movie, in front of the camera when I had to fill in for Michael.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that all three of us worked together to create them all, and that the fact that we could actually create a storyline that gelled together so well was great. You know, I had all the nerves of getting up to that first day of being on set, because, like I said, it was my first time.
Direct.
But I got my cherry popped by a giant freaking acting orgy, and everybody did great. And it was actually a super fast shoot. We spent more time getting different shots of the ambulance than the actors were on set, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But the other weird part for me was I wish somebody would have gotten more behind the scenes footage of the last night of shoot, because that's when I fell down and I had a concussion. I don't remember hardly anything from that night.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. And that was the one night where you actually started to lose your composure a little bit as a director. And I pulled you aside, and I'm like, dude, you're kind of snapping at Ryan and stuff. You should probably chill out a little bit.
You did?
And you're like, oh, okay. He was cool. Yeah. I know Chuck for 30 years. He was snapping at you guys.
And the funny thing, I do remember Ryan pulled me aside and he was asking me a bunch of questions. He was like, yeah, you probably have a concussion. And I remember somebody giving me the script, and I threw it. And I was like, I can't fucking read that.
Which is ad-libbing.
Yeah, one of the other things I remember the most about that night was, like, Kendra getting right up in my face when we were acting together, and I was trying to figure out, why is she so close to me? At the end of the night,
Yeah.
for one of the final shots, and I'm like, why the fuck was I driving a car?
Because the shot looked good.
It looked good. And
Yeah.
Um,
So how about you, buddy? Aaron? What was your favorite part of?
I think my favorite part is how everybody jumped on board. Yeah, I love the fact that you guys played off of the first movie, and it turned into what it did. But I was also impressed that everybody we wanted to be a part of it agreed to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They gave it their fucking all, and that's in front and behind the camera. I mean, everybody brought their A game, just like we had hoped. And it's really cool to see how every chapter turned out. And then, in fact, when we put them all together, I was like amazed how easy it was to put together. I mean, I literally put that chapter, the full feature together in a day. Wow. And it was, a few hours. I mean, it was really easy. I lined them all up, and I'm like, what do I need to do to transition? A few shots. The only thing I wish we would have done is got more shots of Michael when we were shitting around and setting up shots. We could have easily had Michael walking through bushes or walking down the street or having him pop out over here just to get a ton of B-roll for Michael just for a transition. But other than that, I love the collaboration. I loved it. It was the fucking coolest thing to see. I learned so much watching you guys do your thing with your stories, and I had to learn how to not be the big person on set dictating everything. Like in Ryan's movie, he was that guy. So I had to shut the fuck up and act for him. In your movie, I had to just be your kind of AD or be you, like you've been for me for so long. And I was able to, just try to transition into those new roles. So I don't know. That was kind of cool. So I don't have one favorite part. I love the whole fucking thing. Everything was fucking cool, and we shot it so fast, and it just all flowed. And learning about the call sheets we did, the time frames we shot stuff in, it seemed like these little sweet spots that we did it, and no one felt rushed, no one felt overworked. Everybody seemed fine. People were like, "Oh shit, we're done for tonight." I'm like, "Yeah, we're done. That's it. Go home."
Yeah,
be home. You're like, "Yeah, it's done. It's over. We're done."
I was more concerned about feeling like we were wasting the actors' time by having them come all the way out here, but they were so grateful for the fact that they had so much time to do the shots. We got more than enough freaking footage of everything, of them getting their shots in, and then they were grateful to have the rest of the evening. And so it was like, really? Wow. So yeah, like 3 to 4 scenes is the sweet spot.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of it. I loved everything. It was a lot of fun making this stuff with you guys. I'm not gonna fucking get all emotional and juicy and shit, but I'm just saying, it was pretty fun.
Well, in your text messages, you sent us that GIF of you crying.
When are we doing it again? The one thing I wanted to say, Chuck, before you go, is the Michael thing. I'm kind of surprised that no one could tell there was 3 different Michaels in this movie.
Yeah, actually, I thought about that too.
Yeah,
they all did a really good job, and they look like the same person.
Yeah, and with 3 different masks. I mean, we used 3 different masks throughout the film.
3 different masks, 3 different sized men.
Yes, yeah, and everybody's different. And some people point out certain things here or there, but for the most part, no one says anything. So that alone,
whatever somebody thinks about the Michael character carries through the whole movie. So whether they thought something looked a little different or moved a little off, we all got sucked into the same aspect of whatever that was.
Yeah, with 3 different people playing Michael, I had no idea, and I love that. I think it's cool. Yeah, maybe watch it again, people.
Always watch it again. Log in under a different subscription name and watch it again, and then click that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up and hit that notification bell.
There you go.
Ryan, you were going to ask me a question earlier about something about the end of the movie, something about the end of chapter 3. What was that?
What happens next?
Oh well, if Ryan Smith is on board to come play, then yeah. For those of you who have seen the movie, there's a small spoiler at the end. And those of you who haven't seen the movie, if you just read some of the comments, you know what the spoiler is because people can't shut up. So yes, we are moving off to a lake location to carry over the next part of the franchise.
Yeah,
it's a Freddy at a lake, right? Freddy at a lake.
No, Freddy? It's not Freddy at a lake.
Well,
Freddie?
let me just say, we're indie filmmakers, right? No one knows who we are. So why don't we just tell people in a nutshell
You want to tell everybody what we're doing?
what we're trying to do? Yes.
Well, not what we're trying to do. Is what we are going to accomplish.
We're gonna do, yeah. Well, I say trying because if we pull it off, hey, great. Just like we were trying to make a Michael film that everybody likes, we're gonna try to make some Kruger films and some Jason films that all are interconnected with the shape.
Heck yes.
Yes.
A continuing storyline of Jason to Freddy to something to go on to in the future as well.
Yes. You know how how Marvel has a universe of superheroes and DC has a universe? We're gonna do, and how Ryan has a universe right there.
I don't believe it's real unless. Oh no, okay, that's real.
That's a real baby. That's not a
Awesome
problem.
baby.
Yeah, mom's leaving, so now I got the baby.
There you go. Oh,
Sorry, interview ran long. Sorry about that. Oh, okay, come on. We're supposed to be scary horror people. Why do we do? Oh, baby.
Got ghosts.
that's badass.
Spooky blanket.
Badass.
Heck yeah. It's like Children of Men.
Children.
Aaron, what were you saying, buddy? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm just gonna say that I want to thank everybody for watching the show.
Yeah.
Please subscribe to our channel. Stay with us. We got a lot more story to tell. Ryan's on board. Chuck's on board. We're writing the first chapter right now for the next series. We're going to keep moving this forward. We've got a ton of stuff for you guys to enjoy and hopefully pull off in the way we want to. So just stay with us. You guys are.
I do have a question for all of us. Moving forward, I kind of know leaning into the but what's the timeline for moving forward? Like next Halloween, are we gonna drop 3 features? We're gonna drop Mike, Jason, Freddy.
We're gonna see. There's a little couple other things I'll mention. We're gonna do some mini episodes of certain things coming up, new characters that we're going to introduce prior to the next film that we're going to shoot that will lead into the Jason films, or should I say Voorhees films, and to keep people coming back to check out what the next step is, see if they can see where these little mini shorts will take the next feature or series of chapters that we're doing. And I'm thinking early next year, in the first quarter, we should start moving forward with chapter 1, 2, and 3 of the next series, and hopefully get those out so that we hit that same kind of time frame we did with the shape. I think that's doable. There's a lot, and we may be faster, who knows? But when it comes to a lake, and here we are in October right now, I don't know if we want to go out and start going in the lake in December, but that's a conversation we have to have with you, Ryan, because you're the diver.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you and Tyler are going to be our specialists for this.
You are the underwater filmmakers. So
we already talked about how to pull that off.
Okay. All right.
So, it doesn't matter. I've go, in the coldest part of the year. Yeah, it sucks, but you get those shots. Bam.
All right.
And visibility underwater is the best here in the coldest part of the year. So if you want to get some cinematic shit, you got to shoot it when it's cold.
Well,
now that's a good point too, because algae doesn't bloom in the cold. That being said,
wait, why are we? We're going underwater.
You would be in a wetsuit.
Not only him. Somebody.
But what about the actors?
They're gonna have to.
We have to make sure we don't kill anybody.
Well,
all the time.
We will have our stunt people. We know a couple people who can dive. So
yeah, and Tyler was saying, he's like, I can be an underwater stand-in for Jason because he's got all of his stuff too. And I was like, heck yeah, we'll make this work.
We'll make it work.
Since Tyler's certified, I was thinking of putting a camera in his hand.
Ryan's certified too with the school I went to, no film school. So we'll just
I meant the certification for diving. keeping people alive underwater.
If Ryan doesn't
But,
show you
yeah.
you don't need to go to film school to film a movie, he could definitely show you don't need to go to diving school to dive.
Chuck's like,
People are gonna watch this.
Well, yeah, but you know what? I still kept up with fucking Ryan Smith on the camera. I don't give a shit.
he did.
Keeping
I
up with
tried.
him on the camera is one thing, Aaron. I can't even get you to put your fucking go up to your knees in a lake or in a fucking ocean.
No, I ain't going in the water. That's Ryan. Anyway, you guys.
Oh man, guys, thank you so much for doing this tonight. Everybody at home, that's a little bit of the behind the scenes with the writers and directors of the 3 chapters of The Shape that have been turned into the feature film that you all have grown to love. As we now sit at 39,000 views, and probably by the time this comes out, hopefully we'll be right around Halloween where we're breaking 50,000. That's our goal. So hit the subscribe button, get the notifications, keep chasing what CCC Entertainment Group is doing in association with Creepy TV, and there'll be more to come. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you. Sorry, she's crying.
Oh, no, it's fine. Thank you, Ryan.
Quiet the baby.
Have a good night, brother.
Hush, little baby. Don't you cry.
Oh, poor baby.
Oh, now she's fine.
Yeah. No, you're not.
All right, something happened. I don't know what.
It's creepy shit.
I can't wait for Freddy.
I can't either, actually. I really can't. I'm gonna fight you on Freddy, Ryan. So be ready. This is the first time we're gonna have problems.
Oh.
We're probably going to too quickly write Jason and go through Jason too fast. So, but
No,
we'll get ready.
No, I respect Jason. If Ryan can respect Michael and make a movie, I can make a Jason movie. Jason's my least favorite, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this fast Jason or slow Jason, or whatever we want?
I don't know, but it has something to do with a sack.
A sack?
Yeah.
Like a ball sack?
No, like a potato sack.
Well, I didn't know.
Bag, like a bag on the head.
I thought we were mad libbing this.
I don't think Ryan's watched our thing that we put out for all the actors and crew that could join us to see where this universe is going. I don't think he saw that.
Oh yeah, Ryan, you gotta sit down. You dropped out of the chat.
Yeah, I'll send him the link.
Video.
It's about a half hour, but you'll see where we're going with everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And
so, okay. Well, then I won't spoil it.
It's a private link. It's a private link, so don't share it on there.
I'll reserve my question for later.
I'd like to hear what you think and where your mind might go, so it'll be fun.
Heck yeah.
All right, brother. All right, Chuck. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys doing this.
All right, everybody.
Thanks for hanging out with me for tonight, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Aaron, go make some food. Ryan, go change the diaper, unless that smell you smell is your own ass.
Oh, why'd you look at me like that? Huh? Shit.
She's like, I'm trying to get away from you. You stink like poop, Papa.
I think it might be her. Our powers combined.
The Wonder Twin Powers. Form of diarrhea. I'm out of here.
All right, guys.
Everybody.
Bye.
All right, guys. See you later. Have a good night.
You too.